my small effort also to raise awareness about wildlife, about why we do what we do. It's just not just to have a pretty picture of a tiger, but also to understand what is behind the tiger.
And what is behind the tiger?
Everything is behind the tiger. Well, the tiger is what we call the flagship species. It's a symbol. It's a symbol of our wilderness.
Who is Camilla and what is she doing in India?
I came here for the tiger. For me, the tiger really changed my life.
Tell me something about, the experiences that you've had in India.
Beautiful every day. I mean, I do the most beautiful job in the world. So I've learned Hindi, by the way. That's very important for my work. I know that.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, I mean.
So मैं तब से हिंदी में बात कर रहा हूँ. आप समझ रहे हो सब?
हाँ, समझते हैं सब.
What is more important for you? Is it taking pictures or just being in the wild?
Of course, seeing the tiger, having a good experience and sharing this experience with the people I am with. It's more of, sharing the passion.
So not just the challenge of being a woman, but challenge of being a woman who looks different.
I think that if you really like something, if you're really competent in what you do, then no matter what people perceive at the beginning, it shows. So after a while, people perceive you as a good professional, no matter what you look like.
If you were to draw a path for someone to start, where can they start?
So an experience that was very useful to me.
What would be your advice to people who go to the wild?
In general, it would be
Welcome folks to Moving Forests with Keshav Sharma, and today we are with Camilla Malvestiti. Every fortnight, I interview prominent and inspiring personalities from the wildlife space to share all the well-kept secrets of what drives them and what makes their connect with nature. And during my conversations, I try to look for some interesting stories that might make you fall in love with the natural world and their craft all over again. Camilla is the embodiment of adventure and conservation. Born in Italy, she has journeyed across borders, capturing the essence of wildlife through her lens. With a career that has taken her from the enchanting landscapes of France to the vibrant wilderness of India, Camilla's path was guided by an irresistible call. The call of the tiger. Today, we will discuss her career in wildlife photography and guiding, what made her move to India, what led her to embrace roles such as a naturalist, a lodge manager, and then embarking on hundreds of safaris and extensively exploring the country's most revered protected areas, eventually becoming one of the top-notch wildlife guides in the country, with a deep knowledge and expertise of offering wildlife tours in India's finest tiger habitats. Without further ado, let me welcome Camilla Malvestiti.
Hi, thank you.
My pleasure. First of all, thank you so very much for coming and being a part of the show. I reached out to you on Instagram and you said yes, and you made time to come just before you're leaving for Jim Corbett. So I want to express my gratitude for that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. So I would like to know, who is Camilla and what is she doing in India?
I came here for the tiger. For me, the tiger really changed my life. And this is not an exaggeration. I'm being very practical. It's very strange. I don't have one clear and straightforward answer to that question. I only know that at some point I started being very much interested in tigers, almost bordering obsession. So before moving to India, I used to live in France. I was 9 years in Paris and I was doing something completely different. I don't know if you can imagine me in that role, but I used to be a vegan chef.
Oh.
So I used to do catering, recipe development. I used to love health food and all. At some point, I would just notice somebody talking to me about tigers, or it was very strange. Somebody would wear t-shirt with a tiger. It was, I don't know, it was like the tiger called me at some point. So I got more and more interested in this animal that is both powerful and majestic, but also very endangered, very vulnerable. It's a bit like the yin and the yang. So somehow, I don't know why, that triggered something inside me. So I started digging more and more, watching tiger documentaries. It just escalated. I used to live in a very small flat in Paris, and everything was tiger themed. It was strange. I used to have tiger mugs, tiger things, tiger blankets. When my friends over there used to listen to me talking about tigers, they were like, what's wrong with this girl? I mean, why is she so much into tigers? You can imagine the average person in Paris doesn't particularly care about tigers.
So before that, you hadn't seen a tiger.
No, not in real life, but
You had seen it on screen.
Nowadays we can see any animal. Why do people love polar bears? They might not have seen them.
Yeah.
Pandas.
Yeah.
So yeah, but then I came to India the first time. I came for a workshop.
What was this workshop about?
Something completely different. I came for a workshop in yoga and Ayurveda. So I was here for a month, and then I said, okay, let's try and see if I can see a wild tiger. At that time, I didn't know anything about safaris. Zero. I had no idea.
And this was when?
That was in January 2016. So my first ever safari was in Dikala, of all places. The most difficult place to get a safari in the country. Somehow I managed. I don't know why. But I stayed only one night. I did only 2 safaris. I didn't see a tiger. So then I tried again. I went to Ranthambore, and there I did see a few tigers, and then it escalated even more. It was like a proper aha moment. And I was already into photography, so that also was.
So you came here for a workshop, and then you just stayed back.
No, I mean, I still went back to say bye to my family and friends.
Then you went back to Europe, your hometown?
Yes. That time I used to live in Paris. So, I mean, just coincidence, how life goes. My time there was almost up. I had been there for almost 10 years. I knew that it was time to make a change. I mean, I could make a change. So I said, okay, let's try to do something for the tiger, with the tiger. Let's try to see if there is anything for me to do that would take me closer to my favorite animal. Also, just coming here from times to times just to take photos as a hobby, for me, it wasn't enough. I'm somebody who can get very intense. It's either I do something with all my heart or I don't do.
So then you quit your job and told your family goodbye, and you came back. And did you come back with a plan, or was it still not sure of what you were going to do?
So first of all, I've been on the move for many years. I haven't lived in the country where I was born for almost 17, 18 years. I was never very much local. So my family had said goodbye when I was very young. So that was not a problem. And there was one episode that was kind of important to me. So I told you I started by doing kind of random safaris. I took single seat. I went alone. I went with other people. I was just trying things out. But then my friends, who at that time had understood that tigers were important, etc., they did one very nice thing for me. They collected money and they gifted me a photography workshop by Sudhir Shivaram.
Oh, in India.
Yeah, I mean, they knew that I was really much concentrated on the tiger. So that was one episode that really made me understand the difference between just going on safari like this, randomly, and going on safaris with a good team, with good guides and drivers, in that case with a great mentor. I mean, nobody can produce a tiger, but going with people that will, first of all, love the tiger and the environment, pass on their knowledge, and also show that they're doing the best they can to let you have a great experience. That was really, for me, that was a big change in my tiger journey.
I think it all boils down to the experience. What you experience in the initial days when you're changing your career, that defines it.
Yeah, for sure.
So after the workshop with Mr. Sudhir Shivaram, then how did you get into the profession of guiding and taking people? Because it's one thing to love the tiger, it's one thing to love wildlife and to move to India, but then you were a chef and you came here for yoga. How did the transition happen? Like, when did you become the mentor?
I think that, first of all, personal experience, passion, and the will to learn are very important when you want to do something. Also, there is no formal training for this kind of work. For me, at least, what was very important was to be on field with the people who know more than me. So mentors, of course, but also the guides and drivers of the park who have been there seeing tigers since they were young kids.
Mm-hmm.
So I've learned Hindi, by the way. That's very important for my work. I know that.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, I mean, I know that everybody always gets very surprised.
So मैं तब से हिंदी में बात कर रहा हूँ, आप समझ रहे हो सब?
हाँ, समझते हैं सब. But I mean, my mother tongue is just Italian. Only with Italian, I would not have gone very far. I've learned English, I've learned French, and I've learned Hindi as well.
Yeah. And what about Gujarati? Because you're living in that part of the country, not Gujarat. Actually, you are mostly in Nagpur, if I'm not wrong. Maharashtra.
Mostly in MP, Rajasthan, also Maharashtra. But
so do you know Marathi as well?
No, I haven't had time to learn that as well.
So basically, everything that I was speaking with my team during the setup, you were able to understand. Nice.
This is a tool of my job. If you had to come work in Italy, people would expect you to learn Italian. For me, it's the same. I work in Central India. Our team, so mostly the guides and drivers, the local people, they don't speak English. Of course, they don't speak Italian.
Yeah, of course.
So it's important for us, I mean, for me, to learn their language. It's the same thing for people who come from South India and want to do this job in Central India. They have to learn.
But mostly in India, you can get away with English.
Not in the rural areas.
Not in the rural areas.
And it's very important to really communicate. I mean, that's my work. I organize the carts, I organize the guides and drivers who do the tiger tracking. So we properly have to have a real discussion. I cannot be half into the discussion. I need to be 100% inside it.
Amazing. That talks about your dedication.
That's how it has to be. Already I look like a tourist. I cannot be perceived as a half tourist. You know?
So did you take formal classes to learn Hindi?
Yeah.
You did?
Absolutely. So this is the fourth language that I've learned.
Through formally learning with a teacher?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I was just going to ask, because you said that for photography and being in the wild, there is no formal education. I was just going to ask that, is formal education of any real value or as valuable as it is perceived?
I think it's maybe a mix of both. Maybe not in wildlife, but in general, some kind of formal education, at least in my case, has been very useful. So, for example, when I was back at uni days or in school, I've learned Latin. At that time, it was very boring. I was like, why are we learning this? But then for all the languages I've had to learn, that formal education really helped me because it really gave you the structure of how you can build a language. But then, yes, for wildlife itself, there's nothing as important as being in the field and as being also humble and listening to other people's experiences.
So I was just counting. You were a chef. You came to here to learn yoga. And you are in Ayurveda as well. And you are a photographer. Plus, you are a guide. And now you also know 5 languages.
4.
Okay. So, including Latin.
No. Okay. I don't cook anymore.
You don't? At all?
No, at all. I don't have time. Yoga and Ayurveda was just a passion. I was just studying it for a month. That was great, but I didn't do anything professional with that. So I've done really 2 real big career changes in my life. One was to become a vegan chef, because for me, eating healthy is important. Plus, at that time, there was a big healthy food wave that was building up, especially in France where I was staying. And then the tiger. That was a big career change that, again, I have driven because of passion. So
are you still vegan?
No, I'm not. I'm more flexitarian now, but simply because I live more than 9 months a year in hotels. No, I'm on tour all the time, so I unfortunately don't have so much time now to take care of my own food.
Yeah.
We kind of eat what is there.
Yeah, it boils down to a few things when it comes to food. A, if you're not eating unhealthy, and B, what is there to eat? Sometimes you don't have access to food, so then you have to manage with whatever you have. Yeah, as long as you are not abusing it, then it's fine. I think. Yeah.
And for us, I mean, the most important thing is taking care of our guests. So we really don't find time to make different menus for ourselves. That just
now take me back to, now I've understood that you started your journey and then you started learning and that workshop happened. After that, there may be another Camilla listening to this who would want to do something similar. So like if you were to draw a path for someone to start, where can they start? And they want to take up wildlife as a full-time profession. And would there be a roadmap that you'd like to guide people to? Of course, being passionate, loving what you do is number one. Without that, you can't really make it because there is no formal structure in wildlife per se. But is there like a broad roadmap that you could suggest?
So an experience that was very useful to me was to volunteer for an NGO. So again, through Sudhir, I got introduced to the people at Last Wilderness Foundation. It's an NGO based in Bombay. They do excellent work, mostly in how to involve the local communities into conservation. So they work in the rural areas of MP, close to the tiger parks. So thanks to them, I got my first experience in Kanha itself. I was there working with them along the forest, close to the forest department. I was staying close to the Mukhi gate of the park. We were giving some training to the local people. And that was a great way, first of all, of getting a taste of what life is close to a tiger reserve, apart from the safaris. And also to get to know many people who would come on safaris, or the lodge owners, or either other people who work in the other NGOs. So that was very interesting for me also to start to create my own niche, and also to ask myself, what do I want to do? What can I do in this field? And NGOs, of course, always need help, not only monetary help, but actually they do need people who have some time and can help them out. So yeah, I would suggest that as a good option for people who can.
Which NGO was this?
They're called Last Wilderness Foundation.
Maybe I'll put the links in the show notes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so you worked there near Kanha?
In Kanha.
In Kanha.
In Kanha. I was staying exactly at the gate of the park, at the gate of the core zone. It was an incredible experience.
And then you made Kanha your home.
And then, well, yes, because then the following year, I came back and I helped out some people that I had met who own a lodge. So I was there for a whole season after that. That was also a great learning experience, because experiencing the same park throughout the season is very interesting. You get to see not only the seasons of nature, but also the tiger behavior. And then COVID came, and so I was there during lockdown as well, but that's another story.
So from 2017 onwards, you would come and then you'd go back to Italy? Or
no, at some point I would just stay.
Stay back?
Yeah. I was not much coming and going. I realized that I was staying more here than anywhere else.
And that's how you're going to see it? That's what you see in future as well for you?
Well, I have my own company. Our main work revolves around tiger safaris. So I think that my specialty would always be tiger safaris. We also do Africa. We do lead expeditions in Masai Mara, Tanzania, and I would also love to add new destinations, but there is nothing like the tiger.
Tell me more about your company. What is it called and how do you function, and how did you incorporate a company in India? Like, what was the whole process? Was it challenging because you are not an Indian citizen? Did you partner with people? What did you do?
It's not challenging. You can do it. It's totally allowed. You need to have an Indian partner. So my business partner, the person that I work with, I've been working with for many years, is Mihir Mahajan. He's the founder of another company called Beyond Wild.
Wild, yeah.
So, and he is a partner in my own company. My own company is simply called with my name. It's Camilla Malvestiti Safari. So nothing. We just created that. It was a straightforward process. Maybe took a bit of time, but nothing particularly challenging about that.
So just two people, you and him, or are you building a team now?
For now, it's just us. At least in my company, I mean, it's a very small activity for now, but let's see in the future.
So you are leading safaris, and Mihir is also doing it with you?
Yes. So Mihir is the lead of his own company. He has his own tours, his own guests. Been doing it for many years. And I do the same. We do it alongside in the sense that all the logistics, all the arrangements are taken care by Beyond Wild.
I'll tell you about this chat that I was having with a nature resort in Panna. So I was just talking to them, and I wanted to know about the rates, and I wanted to check the availability. So this person told me that you were in talks with doing a workshop somewhere in Panna around this year in March, and maybe it worked out or it didn't work out. So that was the first time when I came to know about you. And that led me to your page. And her name was Neetu. She's a manager in a resort. I'm not getting the name right now. And so that's how I came to know that there is a foreigner in our country who's leading safaris. So then when I went on Instagram and I looked for it, and then I saw that a lot of other people that I know are also following you. And that's when I thought that maybe, I should get in touch with her and try to know what her story is. Yeah. So very interesting. And great. Now you have your own company and you're leading expeditions. So tell me something about, the experiences that you've had in India. If you were to talk about one experience, which was just something that you can never forget. It could be very beautiful. It could be very dangerous as well. So share in detail if you'd like to.
I've never had any very dangerous experience yet, touch wood.
But beautiful?
Yeah. Beautiful every day. I mean, I do the most beautiful job in the world. So I would have to relate it to sightings because 99% of my life revolves around nature and sighting. But yeah, I would say in general, having the privilege of witnessing the private life of tigers. So, for example, recently this year, I saw a tigress in Kanha. She had 5 cubs. So it's very rare for a tigress to have a litter of so many cubs. And I was there with some guests, and then we saw them like walking towards us. For a few minutes, the mother was walking towards us, and the little cub, they were so small, they were almost running behind her. The legs were so small.
So they were just born?
They were a couple of, 2.5 months old.
Okay.
2.5 to 3 months old, but still very small. That was maybe the first time where I have almost regretted the fact that I had to take photos. I would have just liked to watch, to look at the tigers, because this is one of those one in a lifetime moments.
What is more important for you? Is it taking pictures or just being in the wild?
I'd say neither, because now I have the responsibility of my guests. I don't go on private safaris much anymore. So, of course, seeing the tiger, having a good experience and sharing this experience with the people I am with. I would like everybody who comes on safari to then go back and become an ambassador for the tiger and for the wild, and overall having learned something. It's not a race after sightings, how many tigers have you seen? It's not that. It's more of, sharing the passion.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
So before you came to India and when you were in France, you were obsessed with tigers. But was there any moment that you remember that why did this happen? Was it just random conversations, some documentary that you remember?
So it was very strange. That's why I always said that the tiger called me. I'm not very superstitious. I'm not very mystique. I don't much think about destiny or other things. But for this specific reason, I really think that at some point, I don't know why, the tiger kind of manifested itself to me. Nothing specific happened. I just start noticing things about tiger. And then randomly somebody would talk to me about tiger. And then it just escalated.
So wherever you'd go, you'd see tigers, or people would talk to you about tigers.
Not wherever I go. But it did happen a few times. And then just it had to happen. I don't know why.
Very interesting.
People get passionate about things for different reasons. And at that time, this thing looked maybe strange or random or weird, but then it became my profession. So somehow, I don't know, somehow it was meant to be maybe.
But you would have had a life in France. Like you would have had friends, family, co-workers, leaving everyone behind like that and coming here and finding your new life. Tiger is one thing, fine. The tiger is here, there is wildlife, you can always go to the wild. What about people? How was it for you to make that transition from your friends and family in Europe to people that you have, your new friends now? You have maybe have a new set of people that you mingle with in India. So how was that transition?
Well, of course, it's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. But this is the fourth country I have lived in. So I'm somebody who's always been on the move. And for me, the most important thing is what I do, not where I do it. It became very important to me that I wanted to do this as a profession. If you want to do something related to wild tigers, well, India is the place. That's how it is. I mean, many people like live in different countries for the profession. That's what I did.
But India doesn't have a great image, especially when it comes to women. And I'm sure your friends would have told you, oh, you're going to India, it is going to be difficult. And the profession that you've chosen is also not very typical profession for women. Forget about a foreigner, you are in India, but you are from a different country. So not just the challenge of being a woman, but challenge of being a woman who looks different. Have you faced any such resistance from people while you were starting, or even now, or now it is like, I'd just like to know about your experience.
The challenge of being perceived different, of being a woman that you will have anywhere. It's just that here, maybe on me, it's more visible. But when I moved to Paris from the UK, that for me was even more difficult. Even if I looked a bit like them, that's even more subtle. No? Your accent is different. You're not completely different, but to get accepted in such a high pace, high competitive, big city, it requires a challenge. So I've never been scared of challenges. For me, what I always thought, if it doesn't work, to go back to a place that I don't much like and doing a job that I don't much like, I will always be able to do it. And I think that if you really like something, if you're really competent in what you do, then no matter what people perceive at the beginning, it shows. So after a while, people perceive you as a good professional, no matter what you look like.
I must say that I really love the way you think, because a lot of people would just not take the step because they are scared. So, but you persisted. But I'll come back to my question. So fine that you had the mindset and you decided that, I'm going to go to India and I love this place and I'm going to face whatever challenges will come my way. What about those challenges? Did you really face them, or like it was smooth sailing?
I mean, neither, in the sense that, of course, there have been challenges. I don't know if I have faced more challenges than other people. I'm not sure. The main challenge is to prove yourself. But that, as I told you, I had faced it in other places as well. I don't think that I faced that more in India. And I've been quite lucky that the people with whom I have worked were very encouraging and quite welcoming, actually. So the first experience that I did in Cannes, I told you about when I was volunteering for the NGO. At that time, I mean, At that time, my Hindi was even more basic. I remember there was this person who accompanied me there. He was the last English speaker person that I have seen in like 2-3 months. He left me there, patted my shoulder and said, go, okay. At the beginning, the people there were a bit like, who is this? Who is this person? What's she doing here? But then really, they really opened their heart to me. And let's say, yes, language is a big thing that really helped me out a lot. Language opens doors to people's hearts because, especially in these rural areas, the people, maybe they hadn't had so much the chance of interacting with people from other countries. But then when you do actually speak to them and they realize that, okay, you might look different, but after all, we're the same.
You're the same. And they appreciate that you're making an effort to learn their language.
Yeah. That was probably, now that I think about it, one of the things that like a sesame for me into being accepted in this rural community.
So since now you're here and I am convinced that you are doing your dream job, there is no doubt in my mind. Is there anything more that you would like to do? So this is what you're doing. Where are you going next?
I want to do this more and more, not necessarily myself doing more safaris because that is not possible. But yeah, having more meaningful experiences that I can share with my guests, adding new destinations, maybe trying also to take people to less well-known parts of the countries. Now there are a lot of new parks, not new parks, but parks that are kind of upcoming in the wildlife scene. People are still a bit scared to go, scared in the sense that they don't know yet if they will have sightings, if the hotel will be good, etc., etc. So I would like to add those destinations as well, and maybe doing more international trips, and overall continuing, in my small effort also to raise awareness about wildlife, about why we do what we do. It's just not just to have a pretty picture of a tiger, but also to understand what is behind the tiger.
And what is behind the tiger?
Everything is behind the tiger. The tiger is what we call the flagship species. It's a symbol. It's a symbol of our wilderness. It's a symbol of a world that is disappearing if we are not careful. It's something that we have to protect, something that's precious. And like Jim Corbett used to say, the tiger is a gentleman with a big heart. That is really true. No, you really have to disturb a tiger to have a bad experience in the wild. The tiger very kindly let us see them. So I really think that instead of just taking that experience, we should also give back a bit.
Amazing. So it's also a perfect segue to what I wanted to ask you next. You said that you'd like to take people to places which are less well known. So it's a two-part question. First part is, which is your most favorite place? And what are these places that you want to explore more?
Favorite place, I would say Kanha. Kanha is very dear to me because it's been very important.
I can see that in your posts as well, because when you talk about Kanha, what you write comes from your heart.
Yeah. I mean, I probably lived there. I know the place very well, and I don't know, I like the smell of the forest. I like the feel of the forest. I love the tigers of Kanha. That's very, very personal. We all become attached to a place or to another just for personal reasons. What other destinations? I would want to add many of them. I don't know. I think the list is very long. So,
but maybe top three?
Top three, well, international destinations. I would like to explore more African national parks. I would like to add Botswana, South Africa, for example. And if we talk about India, one place that I would like to take a group this year, if possible, is Sundarbans.
Have you been to Sundarbans?
Yes, I've been to Sundarbans and I've seen a tiger there. It's a very different landscape and environment if you compare it to the other tiger parks. It's very interesting also regarding how local people live. Local people and both animals. It's a very harsh environment and very different. But I think that it's worth exploring. Then many other places. I want to do a snow leopard expedition this year, hopefully. And then there is one park that is really upcoming. It's Panna in Madhya Pradesh.
Yeah. You've been to Panna, right?
I've been to Panna, yes. I've been to Panna. I would like to show it to more people. And then, I mean, there is no limit. I want to go everywhere.
Yeah. What would be your advice to people who accompany you or who go to the wild? If there is something that concerns you personally that you'd like to share with people, because it's a platform, it's a small platform, but still there are some people who listen to the podcast. And if you'd like to use this platform to express any concern or any advice that you may have for other fellow people who go to the wild or who love wildlife, what would that be?
In general, it would be to go with an open heart, not go with the pressure or idea of getting a sighting, cost what it costs. Because, I mean, it's the wild. Nobody can produce a tiger. Nobody can guarantee a sighting. And, you know, sometimes if people go with too many expectations and they don't see anything and they go back home disappointed. Just go, with an open heart, see what the forest offers you. And in general, try to learn as much as possible from the people of the forest. Take it as a learning experience. And just enjoy it as much as possible.
I'd like you to share where can people find you. I'm going to put all the links in the show notes as well. And in addition, is there a way for people to work with you? You know, if there is any platform, any safari, any internship that you take, you can share that as well. And I can always put those links in the show notes as well. So please.
Okay, so people can find me on Instagram, Camilla Malvestiti. And my tours, especially my group tours, are on Beyond Wild website. And on all the platforms on Facebook. I have my own website as well. By email, any way of contacting me are okay. Regarding working opportunities, for me, it's a bit premature. I mean, I still work on my own. But if in the future something comes up, I will definitely either let you know or like that will be posted on my social medias anyway.
Sure. So the reason why I'm asking this is because me and a lot of others like me, we are living a normal life, you know, like you, like way back when you were a chef. For me, it is not possible to leave my life and just go to the wild. And there is no excuse. I can always do that. But I choose to live this life where I'm in the city, but I'm still connected with the wildlife through this podcast by interacting with people like you and maybe getting an opportunity to explore the wild once in a while. But at the same time, I cannot, or maybe I don't want to be a full-time wildlife professional. So like that, I'm sure if there is one Keshav, there may be many others, you know, who want a similar life. So through this podcast, I want to open up avenues for people where it can become like a community where people can come express what they feel about the wild, share their experiences, and also connect with each other, whether it is about internships, employment opportunities, freelance work, whatever there is, you know. So that's like one of the objectives that I have with the podcast. That's the reason why I always ask all my guests about this.
Well, another way would be writing about wildlife, having a blog. I also used to have a blog at the beginning when I still have a bit more time to actually write down my experiences. I would suggest doing that. And yes, as I said before, working for an NGO, volunteer for an NGO. That's maybe the best way to start, or for people who don't want to do it as a full-time profession. Because the thing is, with this job, it's a bit difficult to do it halfway. It's either you do it full-time and then you do only this. Else it's a bit difficult. Because if you have a tour, if a client calls you for a safari trip, you can't say, oh no, sorry, that day I have to be at home because I don't know.
Correct.
So that's the thing.
Yeah. So that's exactly what I meant. That for a photographer and a guide, there is no choice. If you have to lead an expedition, you have to go and shoot your project. But I'm neither. But at the same time, I want to express my love and my interest. And I can do that sitting at home with a mic. I can write, I can speak, I can interact. And so that's how I am doing it. And I'm sure there are other people who can find more creative ways of doing it. Yeah.
For sure.
Thank you so much. It has been wonderful to have this conversation, and I would love to have you again sometime soon.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Lovely.